Hey everybody, Brian McCumber here with Tech Money Talks. I want to introduce you to Jeff Lerner. This is a recent podcast special guest, and he went from being a broke jazz musician to making over $50 million with his online business. He's the author of the Millionaire Shortcut and has just done amazing things. This podcast is awesome. The podcast is about an hour long, but I wanted to take some golden nuggets to give to you right now. This golden nugget is awesome. It covers a powerful transformation story, how he went from rock bottom to smashing success. And you saw his transformation, how he explained it. So I want you to check it out. It's a great listen.
Almost like a submissive posture. Like I wasn't defeated, but it was like, I'm just here to serve because I believe there's value in that. And it's the only value I have to give. This is why I'm so passionate about how you make people feel. Because when I had nothing else, I still had the ability to make people feel good, not feel sorry, feel good about the value I was trying to serve them with. And sure enough, the first product I affiliatized was the marketing training. The same platform I was learning from, I started saying, listen, here's how I'm learning this stuff. If you'd like to join or if you'd like to learn more about it, click this link. And dude, I was breaking records. So they had an event in March.
Great.
They had an event in March of 2009. So at that point, it was my full month in the business. And I walked into this event thinking that I was just a loser. They ended up calling me up on stage because the owners of the platform had been researching who their top, 20 or 30 referral partners were for their affiliate program. And they were like, who is this guy? We've never heard of him before. He clearly came over here. He's got no team. He's got no experience because they could see my logins. They could see everything I was doing. How is he bringing 3 to 5 new people a day into our program? And they had me up on stage and they're like, so what's your deal? And I'm like, man, I'm just on fire. And I looked out at the audience. There were 700 people in the audience. I'd never been in front of 700 people before.
Wow.
And they were all looking up at me like I was smart and like I was successful. And I'll tell you what, something changed then too, because I realized, whoa, success, it really is how you feel, because nothing changed. But when I came off that stage, I was a lot more successful than I was when I went on it, even though nothing had changed except how I felt.
Yeah.
But man, I just knew something had changed. And the next month I made 25 grand. And the next month I made 40 grand. And the next month I made 70 grand. Even though I had no money.
That's powerful. Yeah. That's powerful and so inspiring too. Yeah. So I want to give you another golden nugget out of the podcast. This is where he covers 6 of the critical skills that you need to be successful and actually reach $1 million business.
Yeah. They're not. It's this, there's this cloud of skills that are direct response marketing, copywriting, direct response design, managing a list and list segmentation, understanding funnel economics, understanding how to run paid ads. Like those are just skills. They're agnostic and you can literally apply them to any business model I just described, plus a dozen more, and they all work great. And so what Entre Institute talks about is like, learn the skills. Don't go find a guru who's going to tell you that one business model is going to solve your problems. The reality is if you get good enough at copywriting, you can go find a business to pay you $1 million to write them a sales letter. Like the skills will solve your problems, not the business models.
Here's another golden nugget that I want to give to you. This is the number one thing that you need to create to have smashing success with your online business. And he covers it in this part.
Put all these triggers. I'm going to go read the Robert Cialdini book, Influence, so that I understand how people make purchase decisions. Yeah. And I'm going to build that stuff into my little world. And I'm going to get people on my list. And then I'm going to give so much value that they fall in love with the value. Why? Because I'm just trying to create a feeling. You're not going to create engagement. You're not going to create a buying decision. You're not going to create customer loyalty. You're not going to create any of that stuff until you've created a feeling. And when you create that, then what you're going to do is go, okay, I signed up for the medicalaffiliatenetwork.com, or which again, I'm making this stuff up. And I got an offer for, all the different supplies. And, tomorrow I'm going to send people a link to a really good interview about, with a medical doctor about managing their diabetes. But at the bottom of that email, I'm going to say, by the way, if you want to get a great deal on ketone strips, click here. You know, I've done all the research and I think these guys have the best price or whatever. And I'm going to just build like a relationship with a large group of people. And the value of the internet isn't that it allows you to sell, you know, products for commissions when you suck with people. The value of the internet is it allows you to develop your skills with people in a way that allows you to reach so many more of them than you ever would in an analog world. That's what people aren't clicking with when they go try to start an online business, is that you still have to be a real business person, and real business people build relationships with their customers. They don't just hawk products.
Wow, really powerful. Here's another golden nugget that I want to give to you. This is where Jeff talks about the current trending times and how the pandemic and the election and the social unrest, how all of that is impacting online business and what you need to do.
Yeah, I'd love to. And it is, it's quite a time, you know, with the pandemic, the combination of the pandemic and the election, and obviously the protests, you know, it's kind of the revolutionary feeling in the air right now. I mean, it's a crazy time, but my personal belief system and my experience, I've been on the internet as a business person, you know, doing business online since 2008. I got started it was actually the week of Thanksgiving, 2008. So the fourth week in November is when here in the United States anyways, that's when Thanksgiving is. I think they have it at a different time in like other countries, but that's when I got started online, which means this is now my second recession that I've been through on the internet. And I've also been through a prolonged economic boom on the internet. And the reality is the internet doesn't actually care nearly as much as the quote real world, what's going on in the real world. I mean, politicians, social unrest, pandemics, you know, the sky falling, like the internet just kind of hums along and does its thing. And that's why among many reasons why I believe it's such a powerful place to do business, because it operates by a completely different set of rules. And one of the rules on the internet is don't stress so much. Like digital business. And look, I mean, I know we're talking date stamping and time stamping this. 100 years from now, maybe this isn't going to apply what I'm saying, but certainly for the last 12 years that I've been online, and for the next 12 years and probably the next 50 years, the internet is just, it's the recipient and the beneficiary of just such a massive disruptive transformation and transition of wealth and commerce and enterprise. Yeah. I just personally can't imagine wanting to do business anywhere else. You know, I own real estate. That's kind of what I do with my money that I make on the internet, is I put into real estate, because everybody's always going to need a place to live. You know, internet's not going to change that. But in terms of how people go, you know, wake up every day and go do business, the internet, it could not be more where it's at.
Wasn't that amazing? I tell you, the podcast is awesome. It goes an hour long. I wanted to give you some golden nuggets, but go check out the full-length podcast. You can check it out on Apple Podcasts or even on Spotify, where Tech Money Talks is the podcast that's officially sponsored by Spotify, and it's the #1 dropshipping podcast on the planet. Go check it out and subscribe. Your online business, okay? This is this is a blooper. Okay. All right. Well, let me finish the outro.